Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Anu and I make videos about studying and working in the UK. So if any of that interests you, make sure you watch my videos and subscribe to my channel. I'm pretty sure you're going to find them very helpful. As you can see from the title of this video is going to be about what you need to pack if you are planning to move to the UK for your higher studies. I made a video 3 years ago when I was moving to the UK. It was obviously my first time moving to a different country. I made the video based on literally what I did. What I did was literally based on my research at that time. I did not know much. I just thought, okay, let's take this, let's take that, let's pack this, and let's make a video about it. Reflecting on that video, I feel like there were a lot of things that I did not need to bring with me because, to be honest, I hardly ever used them. If you want to watch the old video, it's still out there. I'll put a link to that video somewhere on the top of the screen, and you'll also find it in the description box below. So if you want to watch that, I'm not stopping you, go ahead and watch that. But just to let you know, this is an updated version. That video was what I brought to the UK myself, and this video is what I recommend you bring to the UK based on my experience. I'm going to divide this video into two sections. The first section would be me discussing what I recommend that you bring with you to the UK. And the second section is what I recommend you do not bring with you, okay? First, let's talk about what you should bring with you. Just to let you know, I have got my laptop here with me, so I have made notes. I've written down everything that I want to discuss. So if I'm looking somewhere over here, that's because I'm reading the notes I made, in case you're wondering why am I looking here. First and foremost is you need to have printouts of all your essential documents. And when I say essential documents, it includes your offer letter from the university, your CAS letter, the confirmation of your accommodation, student accommodation that you booked, your TB certificate, the original one, all of your school or undergrad university mark sheets, and the final degree certificate originals. So yeah, all of these documents are very, very, very important, and I recommend that you carry them with you, obviously in a handbag, not in your main luggage. First, because what if you lose your luggage? I'm not trying to scare you, but people can lose their luggage. You would also need them during the immigration process. When you speak to the immigration officer, it did not happen with me, but it did happen with some of the people I know. So they might want to see these documents, and you must have these documents in hand with you. And you might be wondering why I'm asking you to carry your school certificates or your degree certificates. That's because after you complete your studies, in case you're planning to apply for jobs in the UK, if you want to work in the UK, you would require these documents. When you get a job, your employer will ask you for these documents. Just for reference, they would keep a copy of all of these documents with them, a photocopy. But yeah, for that purpose, you would need these documents. And I just brought them with me when I first moved here. It's just easier to have all these documents in hand because you never know when you might need them. The second point is to carry some passport size photographs. I remember that I had to use passport size photographs for a lot of official documents or any official process that I had to do. And to be honest, it's just best to carry some because in the UK, of course, you can get passport size photos. There are photo booths where you could go and click a picture yourself and get it printed in passport size. But it's around £10, which if you're a student, it's not very cheap. I would not want to spend £10 on 4 passport size photographs. I would recommend getting some photographs clicked and printed before you come in. You might need them if you're applying for a job or just really any kind of official process. The third thing I would recommend is stationery. I know a lot of people do not care about stationery, but I am very particular when it comes to stationery. I hate using ballpoint pens, only like using gel pens. I have really struggled to find gel pens in the UK, which is not really too expensive, because stationery in the UK is quite expensive. I would always recommend getting your own stationery, because I myself am very particular about those. And I'm not trying to say like stationery is super expensive here. It's not. You can get, if you go to places like Poundland or something, you can get stationery for really cheap. It's just not the kind of stationery I like, and I'm very picky when it comes to stationery. So I would always tell people, bring your own stationery. Another important point is, if you are used to cooking in a pressure cooker, I would recommend bringing a pressure cooker with you. That's what I did. You do find pressure cookers in the UK, but they are very expensive. They cost a fortune, and they are available only in specific stores. So you can't really find them very easily. Not saying that you can't find them at all, but only in specific stores. When you bring your pressure cooker, remember to buy a pressure cooker that is suitable for both induction as well as the normal stove. It really depends on what your student accommodation has. Obviously, when you're booking your student accommodation, it might tell you on their website what kind of stove they have. I think it's best to get something that is suitable for both purposes, so that when you finish your studies and you move to a different place, maybe you go to a house share and they have a completely different stove type from what you're used to in your student accommodation, you don't have to buy another one, if that makes sense. Another very important thing I would recommend bringing is an adapter. I brought 2 sets of adapter. One was to charge my mobile phone and the other was to charge my laptop or like anything else extra. So always carry an extra adapter. I brought 2. You can bring 3, 4, how many ever you like, but I recommend bringing some adapters. I would recommend bringing them because, well, to be honest, they are available in the UK. It's not that they're not available. I have personally struggled to find India to UK adapter, so that's not something I would recommend you leave until you arrive in the UK. Another really important point is carry some medicines with you. Of course, you can buy medicines in the UK, but I would recommend bringing your medicines for the first maybe like 1, 2, maybe 3 months. When you apply for your visa application, you will be paying the visa fee, and you would also be paying another fee which is called IHS. So you need to pay that fee, and that is for you to be able to access the healthcare in the UK, which is called NHS. In order to be able to benefit from this, you would need to register to NHS first, and this process is done by your university. And you can imagine the number of students starting the university with you. It's in thousands. It can take quite some time for your university to be able to register you. If you have any health issues within that time frame, you could reach out to your university and they would prioritize your NHS registration. I had some problem with my eyes looked red, and I went to them and I said, I want to see a doctor, I need to register. And this was like after a month of me being in Exeter, and I did not hear back anything from NHS. And literally, when I told them this, within 2 days, I was registered. My situation was not an emergency, but I think if your situation is more of an emergency, I think they would do it even more quickly. I would still recommend, just in case, bring your own medicines for the first 2 or 3 months. And once you're registered, once you start seeing a doctor, you can get prescriptions from your GP and buy the medicines in the UK. So you don't have to bring medicines to last an entire year. You just have to bring it for the first few months until you're able to access NHS. And the final thing that I would recommend bringing is a little bit more sentimental. As a student in your accommodation, generally you would have like something like a board in your room where you could stick pictures or just anything really. And I remember bringing lots of pictures of my family, my pet dog, my pet rabbits. So just some of the sentimental stuff that really made me feel closer to home, because moving to a new country is not easy. And I remember feeling homesick for the first few months, and it was really hard. And I think it was a really good idea to carry those pictures with me. And I decorated my room, the board, with all of these pictures to kind of like remember my family. And it just made me feel a lot better. And that is something I would recommend you do as well if you feel you are someone who can get very homesick. So those were the things that I recommend you bring to the UK with you when you come here. And now time for the things that I think you should not bother bringing at all. The first and the most important thing is jackets. Now, as you might imagine, UK gets really cold during winters. I think the coldest I have experienced in Oxford was -7. When I was studying in Exeter, I think the lowest it got was -1, which, as you can imagine, is very cold. It was snowing. Where I come from, I did not experience snow growing up. So as you can imagine, the jackets that are available in the market back home in India, they are not good enough to be able to help me stay warm in UK weather. Any kind of winter wear, sweaters or jackets, especially if you're coming from a hot country, I think it's best that you do not bring any jackets. I think it's best if you buy the jackets when you come to the UK. And to get a really good quality jacket can be expensive. I'm being honest here. My best jackets, and when I say best, it's in terms of keeping me warm, like really good quality jacket that is perfect for snow. I got that when I first moved to the UK, and I bought that from M&S, and I remember back then it was £100. So it's not cheap, but it's best that you invest in a jacket here in the UK because the quality is perfect for the weather here. Another really important point in terms of what not to bring is electronics. That is something I personally did not know much about, because right before moving to the UK, I got a laptop. That was not necessary because as students, you get discounts on electronics. And if I bought the laptop, if I waited to buy the laptop and I moved here first, I would have got the laptop a lot cheaper. And also my laptop's charger would be suitable for the UK plug, so I would not have to use an adapter. But I did not know that. I already bought a laptop before coming here. So now for charging as well, I have to use an adapter, and it was more expensive for me. Just letting you know, you get a lot of student discounts, maybe like 10-15% discounts from Apple or Samsung, or there might be more brands that give student discounts. And one final thing that you do not have to bring at all with you is masalas. I'm from India. We cook with a lot of spices, with a lot of masalas, and for some good reason I thought it would be amazing if I carried all the masalas with me, because what if you do not find masalas in the UK? And I was so wrong. You get masalas everywhere over here. You get everything you need, and to be honest, they're not very expensive as well. You can get a pack of masalas for like £1 or £1.50, so it's not really that expensive. And I remember, if you see my video, the previous one, I remember carrying all these masalas. If you're planning to bring masalas, please don't bring them, just to save some space in your suitcase. That's pretty much the stuff that I would say you do not need to bring with you. So that's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. I really hope it helps you with your packing if you're planning to move to the UK for your studies. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys again very soon. Goodbye.